Okay, people, we are back. Welcome. So today on the 240SX rebuild, we're going to be climbing underneath the car. It is perfect, like 35 degrees. It's getting dark. It's getting cold. Just the perfect time to climb underneath the car and start fucking around. Alright, so we're going to start underneath the car. I believe we're going to start by removing the exhaust all the way back. And then we're going to try to drop the gas tank and get all the fuel out of here. I want to do some welding soon. So before I do anything with welding, I want to try to remove all the gas, any type of fumes, anything that could be a potential hazard in the garage. Oh yeah, and here, why don't you look at that rust hole. That's one of the holes I was talking about. That's the one, I believe, for the passenger seat. Yeah, I think it's the passenger seat, like what holds the seat down, the little buckle thing. So that's gonna have to be replaced. So you can see, you're gonna see some nice little rust spots under here while we start doing the work, because there's quite a lot of rust. We'll start though by trying to remove the exhaust. I believe it's just held on by hangers. So we're gonna basically just remove it from the resonator or the cat or whatever this is right here. So I think there's gonna be 2 bolts just to remove it. And then it's hung up by some hangers all the way down to right by the gas tank. First we're gonna remove these 2 16mm bolts. So next we're in the trunk of the vehicle. This, I believe, is where the fuel pump is. So I'm going to try to disconnect the 2 lines and the electrical going into the fuel pump so that when we drop the gas tank, nothing gets caught up. Hopefully no fuel leaks out. Again, we might have a problem with fuel leaking out or something, because I don't know if it's going to shoot out or whatever when we drop it, but we'll try not to make a mess. Okay, I'm going to leave the rest like this because it's basically almost hooked off, and I want to try to drop the gas tank before we totally pull them off. We should be able to drop it and them still be connected. First, I'm going to go off by removing this some 10mm bolts holding on this plastic skirt. Not cool, but I don't think these bolts are coming out. I've been beating on them for 10 minutes, spraying them with WD-40, trying everything possible that I can to try to get these straps out for these bolts out for these straps for the gas tank. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna just have to cut the straps. I'm sure I can find something else to strap up the gas tank with. I mean, I'm not happy. I don't want to have to cut them, but I want to get the gas tank out of the way, and I want to get all the gas out, and I want to clean the gas tank up. So looks like we're going to be cutting the straps. Before you decide to drop the actual gas tank, you actually have to remove, my dumbass didn't do it yet, but you have to remove, there's a 10mm bolt up there, and also it looks like a tube with just a hose clamp. That's behind, there's a piece of plastic behind the wear well you have to take out. But remove that, and then the tank should hopefully drop easily. Ready? Yeah. It's gonna be so fucking sketchy. Alright, so I'm super stoked. Gas tank is out. So now I can weld and work on the interior and do all this shit without having any worries of an explosion. So as you can see, the holes I was talking about in, I think it was episode 2, there's a couple holes in the trunk. They're not that bad, so hopefully I can replace those couple spots and then prime everything and, you know, give it a nice undercoat. Actually, if you look, that doesn't even have an undercoating on it. That's like the stock, like interior, exterior paint. So they didn't even like spray an undercoat on that. They just hoped the gas tank would cover it. So I'm actually pretty happy there's not even more rust. All right, so we're gonna start off by taking the differential off the drive shaft. So you need a 14mm. I need a wrench. I don't know. You might be able to get a socket on there if you're smarter than me, but. I already got 2 of the bolts out, pain in the ass, but we're going to continue to try to get these bolts out from the drive shaft. Disconnected. Should I show it? This is... Hi, Bob. Hello. Thank you. Can you get out of here? Thank you. Hello. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Look at Zeke.
No, not this side. Oh my.
Alright, next we're going to use a 12mm I'm probably going to use a socket and a wrench. But we're going to remove, looks like there's 3 double sets of 12mm bolts on each drive shaft. Or not drive shaft, so from the differential to each tire, going out towards each rod or whatever. Alright, so basically, since I have the car jacked up how I have it with the tires not being able to free spin, we're going to have to jack the car up by the differential and spin the tires so that I can get to the last 2 sets of bolts on both drive shaft ends. So this should be fun, because again, I don't think my jack is tall enough to do this because I put so many jack stands up. Alright, we got it! Alright, now that we got that spun, I get the last set of bolts out. All right, so fast forward a day and a half, and we're back I didn't get much farther than still taking the bolts off the differential. We wound up just calling it a night that night, going and grabbing some dinner, and now I'm back at it. So I think I was looking online, and it might be easier if I remove the sway bar, the rear sway bar, just because when this comes down, I know it might get hooked on the rear sway. So I'm gonna wind up removing the rear sway bar. If you can see, I got a little rigged up heater I got for down here because it is freezing underneath the car right now. But we're gonna start with the sway bar, and then we'll finish taking the rest of the differential apart and dropping it. Alright, so if you can see past all the rust, you should have two 14mm bolts here, and then one nut holding it, looks like, onto a stud on both sides of the car. And that should allow the differential to drop out no problem. So unfortunately this, I don't know, is this like a joint, like a ball joint or something? But this is, they're just spinning in place. I don't know if they're stripped out or something, but I'm going to have to wind up cutting with the grinder, both the little, what are these? I'm going to say, again, ball joints. I don't know if that's correct. Correct me in the comments, but that's connected to the, what is this, part of the control arm? So I'm going to have to wind up cutting down both sides to remove the sway bar. The bolts came out a little bit of force, but I don't think these are coming out. We are going to remove, they have four 17mm bolts holding the differential to, it looks like, part of the rear suspension. And then underneath as well, you should have two more 17mm, one on each side, holding the differential to the, is that the subframe? So we'll remove those four, but before I remove the last two, I'm going to put a jack underneath it so we can lower it safely, because I believe it is heavy. All right, sweet. The differential is out. That wasn't too bad. It's actually not as heavy as I thought it was. I was able to take it out. As you can see, it was basically hanging there by the control arms. I was able to just shake it out and then bring it out here and put it on these two jack stands. Perfect. So now we have one piece that we can start working on. If we don't want to work on stripping more stuff out, we can start cleaning up the differential. Definitely want to paint it. Definitely want to weld it, clean it all up, and then we'll put it to the side for now until we get the underbody done. That looks pretty sweet though. Drive shaft's hanging down. Differential's out. Look at all the old guck. Oh, that's gonna need some serious cleaning. But sweet. Alright, so that's gonna be it for today. That took a little bit longer than I expected it to. The bolts were pretty hard to get out. Everything's pretty gunked up down there. But differential's out, gas tank's out. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why am I removing the gas tank? I mean, it doesn't look like it's in that bad of a condition. But because I actually have, like, plans for this that we have to still talk about. Another video is going to be coming where I'm sitting down. I'm going to talk about some of the ideas that I have for the build and some of the things that I want to be doing, some of the things I'm not going to do yet, some of the things I want to do in the future when there's possibly more funds, yada, yada, yada. But again, thank you for watching. Please comment, like the video, subscribe so you can keep up with the build. If you have any comments, any suggestions, please hit it in the comment section. There's more fun videos coming, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.